Justin, are we on?
We're live.
We're live. Good. Let me welcome everybody to our first ever Candidates Town Hall. My name is Lee Fawcett. I'm pleased to serve as your treasurer, and I was volunteered to be your moderator here tonight, so buckle up. Here we go. Now, if you've read our bylaws, and most of you have, you know it's the responsibility of the directors to replace vacancies on the board. The directors take that very, very seriously, and they will vote in the next few days, maybe a couple of weeks, to make final selections. The directors may, at their discretion, appoint two of these folks, one of these folks, or none of these folks. I sure hope they elect a couple. We go. But the purpose of tonight, you're asking why are we here if we are not voting, is to give you some exposure and knowledge and familiarity with the candidates that have volunteered to help out on your board. We're not here to solicit votes for the community, from the community. Like I said, the directors will vote for that. There really is no precedent for this meeting. Don't you hate that word? Precedent, unprecedented? Oh, I hate that. No requirement in the bylaws, any other governing document requires it. We're doing it anyway. As far as we know, this has never been done for any previous election of a replacement director. Let's understand that this meeting sets no precedent. I'm not a big believer in precedents myself for the future. If it works well tonight, we may do it again, or a future board may do it again or might modify it. And a little bit later, I'll give you an opportunity. Please take advantage of it to give me your feedback on how we did tonight. That'll be important. Is that much clear to everybody? Give me a clap if you hear me and you understand. Good. So here's how we're going to go. First of all, as your moderator, tonight you're in my house. We are in our house. The rules in our house are we respect everybody that is there. Before they arrive walking up the driveway during the meeting and even after the meeting or as they're walking down the driveway to drive home, we respect everybody that is there. Is the mother of any of these candidates present tonight? If she is, raise your hand. I'd like the record to show that no hands went up around the house. Just to be really safe, is the grandmother of any of these candidates here? Okay, no hands went up around the house. Those would be the only two ladies that have my permission to give one "Go Get 'em Johnny" shout out from the back. Otherwise, please be quiet. Please respect the people that are speaking. I'll give you an opportunity to clap when it's appropriate. Sure, no mothers are here tonight.
Oh, there's lots of mothers.
I'm
sure there's lots of mothers here.
Yeah, not mothers of these candidates, though. All right, for the presentations, the way we're going to do this, I'll call on each candidate in order. And before I do that, I will introduce the candidates one by one, because I got scolded for not giving you a list already. And I'll call on them in terms that were established by a drawing among the candidates before we started tonight. I didn't do alphabetical order, I didn't do reverse alphabetical order, I didn't do signs of the zodiac. They just drew numbers. After the last candidate speaks, each candidate will have 5 minutes. I'll keep the time. I'll give you a 30-second warning, and then I'll ask you to sit down. After we do that, I'll moderate a Q&A session. Most of you got a question card when you came in. If you didn't get one and you want to have a question you want to ask tonight, frame it so it's generally applicable to all the candidates, because that's the way I'm going to ask them. I'll pick on one particular candidate at a time to be the first answerer, and then anybody else that wants to can raise their hand, and they know that. And I'll call on them. For questions, your first answerer gets 1 minute. All the rest get 1 minute. I apologize, these are very short time, but if you think about the last time you watched a 1 minute commercial on TV, it was like, oh my God, let's get this thing over with. So you can do a lot in 1 minute if you're organized. I'm going to ask the final question as we wrap up. And I hope we're ready to wrap up by 9 o'clock. That's my schedule. Our speakers, and I will just ask them to rise as I say their name, and then I'll call them again for their turn in the rotation for speaking. And when you rise, please stay standing. Number 1 is Neil Watts. Number 2 is Don Butterworth. Number 3 is Rich Edwards. I'm sorry, that's number 5.
Yeah, I'm 5.
Thank you, Ann. Number 3 is Ann Simpson. Number 4 is Bill Martin. Number 5 is Rich Edwards. Number 6 is Bill Eichelberg. I'd like you to, with me, thank these people for coming here tonight. You may be seated. These folks are trainable. All right. Again, after the meeting, over a period of the next few days, maybe a couple of weeks, the directors will gather these folks together again. We'll do some additional interviews, and we'll vote their selection. That is their responsibility. Our first speaker tonight, I got the number 1 right. I did good one time in a row, is Neil Watts. I'm going to give him 5 minutes to tell you who he is, what's special about him, and kind of his vision for the community going forward. Neil?
Good evening, everybody, all those present and those watching online. Thank you so much for taking the time to get to know us. Just for interest's sake, there's nothing special about me. I'm just a normal resident here who feels that I could contribute in some way to a better community and in running things for our community. So I will briefly tell you a bit about myself and then share what my commitment to the community entails. So I was in the South African Navy for more than 30 years, of which about 20 years were at sea. Then I was appointed to the United Nations to monitor North Korea. My education, I have an undergraduate degree in nautical science and then a master's degree in national security studies and a degree in political science from Brooklyn College in New York. I work from home as a consultant on maritime security and sanctions enforcement. Children, we have a daughter living in Kentucky and a son living in Alabama, Huntsville. We moved here in 2020, just at the start of the pandemic. And we've made some really great friends here because we live so far away. These friends have become our family. I'm sure many of you are in the same boat. Now, my wife and I serve on the Broad Creek Road Gang, and I volunteer for the Coastal Carolina Disaster Resilience Agency. I know, fancy name. They're based in James City, and what we do is we volunteer to help people repair their homes, especially those that can't afford it. My activities include sailing, running, kayaking, walking our dog Roxy. We have met some really nice people in our neighborhood, including some that are in their pajamas. I've experienced leading people and managing extensive resources and projects. I also had extensive experience working with people from many diverse nationalities, cultures, and backgrounds. Bringing together people and developing synergy combined with keen listening skills have played a key role in my work in the international domain. And with a practical, calm approach to tackling challenges, I bring a wealth of experience in operational and contingency planning, including floods, project management, and budgeting that would be put to work for this community. I intend serving the Harbour community in the following ways. 1, supporting transparent communication and decision-making. 2, promoting unity in the community by creating opportunities for neighbours to connect, obviously with the help of committees, scheduling, for example, regular community-wide events and encouraging participation, organising volunteer events such as planting and beautification days, enhancing our new residents welcoming program, and focusing on health and fitness opportunities. 3, being proactive in maintaining facilities and cost-effective long-term planning and community consultation for projects that enhance the community's lifestyle, connectivity, and convenience. Some examples include initiate planning and funding for future projects, putting together a 5 to 10 year capital improvement plan. Now, my preference is to talk to people face to face. Many of you here have met me and I've spoken to you. I don't claim to know what's best for you, but by talking to many people about burning issues, I get an idea of what the community needs, and I think we should prioritize that. I will look into every issue that is brought before us or by the advisory committee without favour or prejudice. 4, ensure fiscally responsible budgeting and innovative revenue strategies, such as publishing budgets and spending reports regularly in an easy-to-read format. Ensure reserve funds are properly maintained for emergency OA services and make available multiple means for payment to enhance convenience. And lastly, number 5, be flexible and responsible to the needs of the community,
30 seconds.
especially an ever-evolving multi-generational community, in a fair, consultative manner. We have so much potential in the harbour to live our best life together. I would like to help reach that potential with effective leadership, vision, clarity of purpose, and harnessing the amazing skills and talents of our community. Thank you.
I'm going to bring up Mr. Butterworth next, but I want to mention that anybody that I believe wanted a question card. Yep, if you haven't got one and you want one, Mike will pass among you with question cards, and we will pick them up after our next speaker so we can get them sorted out. Mr. Butterworth, you're up. Yes, sir.
On the question, can you have more than one question if they're related, or what's our duty here?
Fill out your card, we'll do the best we can. I can't predict what's going to be in that pile.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to fill out 2 cards, I don't care. Mike's got plenty. You got plenty of cards, Mike?
Thank you.
But we're going to pick them up after Mr. Butterworth speaks. Are you ready?
I am. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Glad you turned out. Appreciate you taking the time. I'm Don Butterworth. My wife Marjorie and I retired to Fairfield Harbor from upstate New York in 2023. Fairfield Harbor met our expectations very, very well. We do travel. We have 4 kids, 3 grandkids, all out west, not here. We love our neighbors in Mona Passage Court, and we belong to a local church, and we call New Bern and Fairfield Harbor our home. I'm a seminary student. I'm seeking ordination in the Anglican Catholic Church, and I'm seeking a PhD in theology. I'm an EMT with Pamlico County, and I regularly do disaster relief with Samaritan's Purse. I've had about 50 years of public service. It's been pretty broadly diversified. I started out teaching junior and senior high school English in rural Appalachia. And then entered the Air Force as a medical service officer. I retired from the Pentagon as a lieutenant colonel in 2004. My second career was as a civilian contractor in Homeland Defense, and then I did 10 years after that in the VA as a health systems administrator. I have practical management experience in personnel, financial planning, budgeting, and execution, facility construction, maintenance and replacement, disaster response, humanitarian relief, homeland defense. I've done a lot of strategic planning, project and program management, and I have operational experience in logistics, contracting, procurement, and acquisition, and a few other ancillary and related things that we'll go into. I've managed major organizational units at the corporate level, large, complex, multi-year projects, multi-million-dollar budgets. I'm a detail guy. I always finish what I start. I want to make a positive difference in the community, and I think I can do this by serving on the board of directors, and I'm glad for the opportunity for consideration. I want to help move the community forward in a fair and equitable fashion, and to do this in a rational and constructive way. Fairfield Harbor is a special place. I find it to be an eclectic community of communities. That is to say, boaters, golfers, musicians, players, but all people of goodwill who really want the best quality of life for everyone in the community. I love that. Civic-minded people, retirement and career folks, families, singles, couples, people who just want quiet enjoyment of their properties without the drama or any undue taxation. They share a common goal, as I see it, to maintain their property values. I think we all could agree on that. And I believe a board exists to serve all of its members, to shape and to guide changes and the challenges that confront the community. But it can't operate in a vacuum. Community leaders in the past, in my experience, my view, have not always acted in this way. Members have been deprived of their legitimate voice and vote. That's not acceptable. There have been regrettable missteps and prevarications, which I think have misled the community against its own best interests and neglected real present and future challenges in the meantime. So together, we have challenges to face. As I see it, we need to contain costs and allocate resources wisely and strategically. We need to resolve the divisive lawsuit that is pending by the community against itself. We certainly need to protect and preserve the 385 acres of open green space that we own. I think we should address the unfortunate financing and utilization of a completely enigmatic harbor club. And probably it would be very prudent to review our existing budget commitments and standing financial arrangements. So I think members always have a voice and a vote on capital projects. A board that responds to what they want for their future.
30 seconds, Don.
And if there's going to be growth, first, there should be a shared vision, open, transparent process, participation by all members. Going forward, I think we share a common financial burden, responsibility, and privilege. I believe that infrastructure repair is our first priority, and to get right down to the deferred maintenance that has been neglected for so long. Bylaws, DORs, community code, and we don't live in a perfect world, but I think we can do this together. And I'd like to see us fix the situation together. So if appointed, I will do my best in that position. So thank you for your time.
Okay. back there. Come down the outside aisles. Please, if you have question cards, pass them to the end, and they'll pick them up and have them ready for me when I'm ready for them. No. Are you gonna pass out comment cards too, boys?
Want these now?
Yes, please. See, Larry's doing what he was asked. Larry has skills. They're gonna pass you back a comment card, a feedback card. This is valuable because this is the first time we've ever done this. So if there's a better way to do it, please tell us. Even if you give us all 5 stars on everything, please tell us what might be better. If you give us 1 star on everything, you owe us a couple of ways to improve. Fair enough? Good. Ann Simpson is your number 3 speaker. You want the box, right? Don't need the box. Hey, listen.
Oops. Welcome. My name is Ann Simpson, and I moved to Fairfield Harbor from Connecticut in 2009 with my husband, Don. After completing a career in pre-hospital care administration, my primary job was assisting the Director of Emergency Departments to coordinate pre-hospital personnel, emergency services, fire departments, ambulances, all in southeastern part of Connecticut. I served on the board for 6 years. The last 4 years, I served as president. My relationship with Fairfield Harbor community began in 2010 as a member of the Enhancement Committee. The committee was comprised of 10 members whose focus was to coordinate with the board to improve the landscaping in the harbor. And back at that time, the landscaping was not the best it could be. Of course, landscaping is something that always changes. But at that time, the volunteers that were on that committee were the people who were digging the holes, planting the plants, watering the plants, and making sure that everything looked fairly happy. So things have changed. I was also on the New Neighbors Committee. This committee diligently provided a venue for new neighbors to get acquainted with one another, each one to enjoy a great meal and learn some new information about the harbor. My one suggestion, or my first suggestion, if seated on the board, would be to reinstate that committee. People in this neighborhood have asked for that particular thing to come back. It's a real gem, and people learn quite a lot about themselves and the relationship with the community and how they would like to participate. Otherwise, if we don't learn to be helpful in the beginning, it becomes something of a different kind of community that I really would miss. Fairfield Harbor is a big family of different people, of different choices, boating, mahjong, knitting, Bible study. We can go back and forth. And in a lot of communities, that just would not happen. Some of the challenges we faced as a board were the board pursued legal defense on the Fhpoa interest of Mid-South bankruptcy proceedings. With fellow board members, we succeeded in negotiating financing the purchase of Mid-South amenities and the remainder of 385 acres within the harbor. The board also initiated collection and foreclosure procedures for seriously delinquent property. Initiated a master plan development effort and contracted to CAI Associates. CAI, if you don't know, are the gentlemen who came a few years back now with a very large vision for what our community was going to look like. It was a big presentation. The nice thing about what they presented was you could kind of cherry pick the things you wanted and the things you didn't. And so there were a lot of options, and some are being used, some will be used. And I think it needs to take another look at what KCI did.
30 seconds in.
I have always believed in service to the community and teamwork. I support the residents and my fellow directors, listening to their opinions and some complaints, acting in good faith with prudent care and the best interest of the community. Currently, our community is sharply divided. Many believe POA members must have a vote on issues that impact their property and POA dues.
5 minutes.
Others feel just as strongly that the POA board members alone will decide the future development and improvements. I believe current changes and challenges can be overcome by a strong, cohesive board committed to regaining the trust and convenience of the community working together. In closing, I welcome the opportunity to offer my services on volunteering for the new board. Thank you for your time.
Through in the back, did you get cards? Okay. There may be still time to get a card in if you really want to have a question asked tonight. Okay. I'm going to get this right this time. Number 4 is Mr. Bill Martin.
Thank you, Lee. Again, my name is Bill Martin. I've been a long-time lover of Fairfield Harbor. I first had sailboats in the early or late 80s and started coming to Fairfield Harbor in 1987 from Oriental because I really enjoyed it. We had a restaurant at the marina. It was a very nice place and I fell in love with it. I actually moved here in 1996, became a property owner in 2001. So I have seen the ups and downs of travails in the community. This year, I went to Wake Forest University, got a BA degree and a JD degree. And this year celebrates my 50th year as a licensed attorney in North Carolina. And it will be my last year. I had to hold out to 50 years. My career has really had two dichotomies. The first portion, I was a federal judge's law clerk. I was a professor at a law school in North Carolina for several years. I became a federal prosecutor, which I did for a number of years in the Eastern District of North Carolina. And then I was the federal public defender for 2 different districts in North Carolina. First the Eastern District and then the Middle District. And I was actually engaged in creating both of those offices and then running them for 4-year terms. So I have a lot of experience in budgeting, human resources, handling an agency. The last 25 years, I have been engaged in real estate and banking law. And in the real estate area, heavy concentration in community associations law, creating community associations, advising community associations, and very familiar with that realm. My first actual act in Fairfield Harbor was representing, maybe some of you remember, the Harbor Recreation Club that owned the 2 golf courses and tried to run them, but was unable to keep the financials going. The courses began to fall into disrepair, and they wanted to sell to a experienced organization. And that organization turned out to be Mid-South Golf, which had a great history, including running Tanglewood and Bermuda Run when it was the site of the PGA Championship and several other golf courses. Unfortunately, both personalities and financial problems led to a very acrimonious period of time during their ownership, resulting in a bankruptcy and ultimately the community purchasing those properties, which we still own, although we have only 1 golf course now. The other golf course was let to be what it is. I was, like Ann, a former board member here, 2000 to 2003. The last 2 years, I was vice president of that board. And thinking through some of the initiatives that I was involved in during that time, I started the blood drive that still goes on here, I believe, every month. I was very proud of
30
that.
seconds, Bill.
I started, I put reflectors on our roads, and